Let's turn now to Patrick Conley. He's a retired FBI agent and is now the CEO and founder of Franklin Global Inc., a national security, intelligence, and investigative firm. We appreciate your time tonight, Patrick. I want to start with the question that many are wondering. Why wasn't Brian Laundrie under more surveillance, given that he was a person of interest? Did the local law enforcement make a mistake by not calling him in for questioning and giving him a chance to get away?
Well, and that's a great question, and good evening, by the way. The reality is we don't know that they even have spoke to him or even known where he's at. As stated earlier in your newscast here, it's unclear as to whether he's even been to his residence. There's speculation on all sides on this. So the facts of what law enforcement has been able to do is really unknown. And obviously at this point, attorneys have been retained, and Mr. Laundrie is going to be protected by his attorney at this point in time.
I interviewed the chief of police in Northport last week, and I asked him, do you know where Brian Laundrie is tonight? And he said yes. And I said, where? And he said, I can't tell you. Is there a chance that they did not, in fact, know where he was?
There is a chance that Brian left the area and went to an undisclosed location and is communicating through his attorney. That's a very high probability in this case, given the attorney's involvement. So they may know that he's at a location that they could reach out through the attorney, but specific locations, it's hard to say what law enforcement knew or knows now at this point.
Right. And I do want to add, I know police work has to happen and they're not going to share everything with us, but we're going to continue to ask the questions. Patrick, Gabby's family has said Brian isn't missing. They say Brian is hiding tonight. Now that Gabby's body has been found, does this change the way that the investigators approach Brian?
Well, candidly, the fact that Brian has not come forth to law enforcement might actually be an advantage to law enforcement at this point in time for them to spend more time gathering some evidence before they encounter or speak with him. It might be law enforcement's advantage to have that luxury of time that they wouldn't normally have had they approached him and talked to him initially. But it's pretty evident to me that he's either fled, right? He's in hiding, or, possibly he's even done some harm to himself. It's hard to say what's happened to him.
Well, we know that police and the FBI have been at his family's home all day. They've been taking out box after box of evidence. Talk to us from an investigative standpoint, what types of things they will be looking for to try to piece together a timeline of what may have happened to Gabby.
Right. Well, there's a whole bunch of digital evidence that they're going through, from all the social media postings, obviously the phone records, both text messages, call logs, cell tower histories, just to get a good timeline on where those devices have been over the last 3 weeks. They're going to be looking at anything related to bank transactions, credit card transactions, anything to get a forensic digital footprint of activity. And then separate from that, they have a crime scene that they're processing up at the campsite. And from there, they may find, blood, DNA, all types of clothing, other items that are found. Hopefully they found Gabby's phone, which could be a really good source of information. And from that, they'll do logical investigation to include looking for samples from tire prints, footprints, things like that. And they'll compare that to any evidence they obtain. In this case, if the suspect happens to be Mr. Laundrie, any evidence they obtain from that house, they'll compare those items to what they find there. And that's why they've done a search warrant at that home, to get any type of evidence that would be kept there for the original crime and for helping locate where Mr. Laundrie is right now.
What do you make of the fact that police have called off the search for Brian in that nature reserve where his parents say he went on a hike middle of last week? What does that tell you about his whereabouts and where else police might start to search?
Well, it's hard to see how anybody's going to be able to find someone in that type of environment very quickly. It's a huge area, and it's obviously very dense with foliage. So they've done, I think, probably a pretty extensive search preliminarily, but they may have additional information that was just a red herring that was put out there to trick law enforcement to go maybe where he wasn't. They may have obtained additional information from the family or through the attorney that Mr. Laundrie has shown up somewhere else. So again, it's speculation, but my guess is that a lot of resources went into that search in that area, and it's a dense area, and it's an immense job to try to scour that, in it completely. It would take months for them to continue to search that.
How do you anticipate knowledge tomorrow from an autopsy result on Gabby's body will turn the focus of this investigation?
Well, clearly, positive confirmation. They're still vague. They haven't positively confirmed it's her body. The speculation it is. So positive identification if it's her, and then cause of death should be able to be determined from that. Separate from that, any other items that were found with her will be pieces of evidence that will lead the investigators to make some conclusions as to what happened to her and maybe who did anything to her if it was caused by somebody else.
Just heartbreaking news for her family. Patrick Conley, we appreciate your time. We'll have you back as we continue to learn more about this case.
All right. Thank you. You have a good evening.